This is the Raspy Voice Kids, Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt, with my boy, my younger brother and co-host, a.k.a. @JNFiend. We are doing our thing as the Raspy Voice Kids present. A little bit off topic. We're not talking about the Mountaineers. Instead, we're talking about the difference, or at least a comparison, between Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. And as always, we are presented by Sandwich University, a.k.a. King of the Fat Sandwich, and Shrinkables.
Shrinkables!
So what do you think, Jay? Who's better? Who's got the better resume? Who really is the king? Who really is the GOAT? Is it Belichick or is it Saban?
This is a great debate. I say that all the time. It's a great debate. We have King Saban and Belichick.
That's what I call him, King Saban. And then I also always add 304.
Bingo. King Saban, 304, and Belichick the Great. I mean, how could you go wrong with either one of them? Honestly, I feel like they're twin brothers separated at birth. One went to New England, one went to Alabama.
Saban is from Belichick's coaching tree. I feel like that by itself gives Belichick a leg up. Because, you know, the student can't be greater than the master, right?
When was that ever said? I mean, I heard people say that, but like
in the Bible is where it was said. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels religiously, but I'm just gonna say.
But I'm talking sports, okay?
I didn't come up with that. That's in the Bible, but
yeah,
Jesus said that. But anyway.
Okay.
Just so we're all clear.
Okay. Well, the debate is over. Okay, the debate has been over. Thanks. All right. Thanks, Brandon. The debate is over.
Here's where we get into the application. Now, Jesus was not talking about football, because there is no one who will argue that Bill Parcells is greater than Bill Belichick, and Belichick comes from the Parcells coaching tree, right?
You know, look, you cut me off. That's what I was about to say. About to make an argument for myself. I don't know. When I take these two, I think they're so similar. Like, you look at them, and there's reasons why I feel Belichick, I want to give him an edge. He's in the NFL. These are professionals. These are people at the highest parts, of their sport, of their, craft. And then there's reasons why I want to give Nick Saban, where I say every 4 years, every 3 years, you start over. And you only have so many, but there's plenty of great kids. And it's part of recruiting to figure out who's the best. You do know who's the best, but there's other teams that are close that could do the same thing. Like, there's so many, between the two, it's so close. But I personally give the slight edge to King Saban.
Why?
I give the slight edge to King Saban because of this. I feel like he's done it with LSU, and he's also done it with Alabama. He's taken two different programs and done it. And here's the thing. He's kept them focused, and he keeps them hungry, these young athletes, these people who are not professionals. There's girls, there's money, and a whole lot of other things that are going on that could distract him, and he gets them in, he gets them locked on, and he loses his assistance, and he keeps doing it. Bill Belichick, don't get me wrong, these are people at the highest parts of their craft. A lot of money is going into it, but he's had the same Hall of Fame quarterback through it all. He's also had the centerpiece, the queen to his king, the queen who's going to move through spaces to take the rook. Like, he's had him.
You're calling Tom Brady a queen?
Compared to Belichick, yes.
I mean, I know he wears Uggs, but come on, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying. By the way, if you know in chess, the queen is the most dangerous piece.
I understand chess. I know what you meant,
queen.
but I just feel like it's disrespectful to call Tom Goat Brady a queen.
Not if you know chess. Not if you know chess. The king doesn't do much. The queen is the one who you protect at all costs. Not protect at all costs, but is the most effective. That's who Tom Brady is. And I feel like Nick Saban, every few years he has to reset. He has to reset. You go into these training camps and you have to reset, and you have to. Whereas Bill Belichick, he has Tom Brady setting the tone. He has some defenders setting the tone. This is what happens when you get to the Patriots. That's the reason why I give the slight edge, because Saban did it in two different places, and because he has to reset every few years.
There's no question that they are both the greatest at what they do. Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. Nick Saban, King Saban, 304 representing, is the greatest college football coach of all time. Forget you, Bear. Forget you, Urban. Forget you. Anybody else you want to mention? Okay?
No. Obviously, like he's definitely a really close second to Don Nealon. But go ahead.
Besides Don Nealon, okay?
Got that Nealon feeling.
Got that Nealon feeling. But all that said, it comes down to me is which place is harder to sustain success. And I think that what happens is the difference between the haves and the have-nots in college versus the NFL is just incomparable. Anybody can beat anybody every single week in the NFL.
So what differentiates the haves from have-nots in the NFL? What does everybody point to?
Discipline and coaching.
No, they don't. They point to quarterback.
I think it's discipline and coaching, Jeremy.
They don't
because what did Belichick do? What did Belichick do when Brady was suspended for 4 games with 2 different quarterbacks between Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett?
That's a good point. Did they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they won the Super Bowl last year.
That's right, with Tom Brady.
But they went 3-1 without him.
Yeah, great for him, for them.
What did Matt Castle do? What did Matt Castle do when Brady was out for the entire season?
He looked good. He looked good.
And how many games did they win? I believe they won.
I feel like regular season is different than postseason. I feel like he's done a great job.
Well, of course, regular season is different than postseason. All I'm saying to you is it is clearly a system that Belichick has designed that is nearly infallible. He went against arguably the greatest regular season quarterback of all time in Peyton Manning for almost 2 decades. And still was able to accomplish what he did.
Matt Castle.
You talk about Brady. Brady being.
Hey. Matt Castle and Brissett. They do not beat the Falcons last year. I watched Tom Brady throw pinpoint passes to receivers who were not open. Let me add, I am not a Tom Brady fan. When I watch him, he threw passes where his receivers caught it, not because they were open, but because the pass was so perfect. So you say Castle, you say Brissett. There's a difference. I'm sorry. I
just think there's a built-in advantage at Alabama. Alabama football, Ohio State football, USC football, Oklahoma football. They have built-in advantages.
Why isn't Oklahoma, USC, Ohio State winning national championships like Bama? Like you just named all these teams who get all these recruits. I
said Nick Saban is the king. There's no question he's the greatest college football coach of all time. But there are no built-in advantages to being a New England Patriot. There's nothing that makes New England more special than the Dallas Cowboys. There's nothing that makes New England more special than being the New York Giants. Alabama has superiority over Vanderbilt, over Tennessee, over Georgia because of their history, because of the money, because of their facilities. There's no superiority in the NFL. And unlike in college football, when you are successful in the NFL,
people come.
When you're successful in the NFL, you start at the bottom. You pick number 32. When you're successful in college football, you get to put that on the mantle, bring kids in, and they get to see the rings. I'll never forget what Barry Switzer said when he was recruiting kids to Oklahoma.
I love it.
You remember what he said?
Nah, I love it. It's one of my favorite quotes.
It's one of my favorite quotes. He said, if you come to Oklahoma, we're going to win games. We're going to compete for championships. We're going to win national titles. If you don't come to Oklahoma, we're going to win games. We're going to compete for championships. We're going to win national titles. And that's what Nick Saban can say to every kid who comes to Tuscaloosa.
I believe there are so many kids that there's other teams who can amass this type of talent. I think Clemson has a lot of talent.
They do, but Jeremy, think about it.
I think Ohio State has a lot of talent.
How long has Clemson been this kind of good?
No. It's here recent, but I'm saying Ohio State.
In 2012, they gave up 70 points to our Mountaineers. We beat the brakes off of them.
Okay, don't reference 1 point because since then, them dudes have been on a mission.
That's right. In the last 5 years. How long has Saban been doing what he's doing?
No, I'm saying they're getting back to it, but Ohio State's been doing it for forever. What I'm saying about Belichick is he's had Tom Brady. Bottom line. Castle's not winning that championship.
Tom Brady could not even beat out Drew, what's his name?
Could he not beat out, or did they not switch to him? Because there's a big difference.
I want to say Drew Stanton.
I watched Michigan beat Alabama. Tom Brady didn't have Bill Belichick then, and this dude went off and threw how many touchdown passes? This dude showed his pedigree at Michigan. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when he got in there, what I saw last year during the
Can we get back to what is Drew's name? It's killing me. What is his name?
Henson?
Drew Henson, drafted by the
Is that what
Yankees.
you're talking about? Okay.
Conspiracy theory that George Steinbrenner, an Ohio State fan, drafted him so that Michigan wouldn't be good. But anyway, go back to what you were saying.
No, if I can remember what I was saying. No.
My bad.
I'm just saying, I feel like that's a big thing. One thing people will talk about is, I know somebody's going to say, well, look what Saban did at NFL. He was 15-17 with the Dolphins. Look, that was one stint, and we all know the NFL really relies on situation. Perfect example, Bill Belichick. If you want to go that route, Bill Belichick with the Browns, what did he do? Stop it. I feel like because he's had Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's another coach, and I'm not saying, I know he coaches them up this way and builds this responsibility for his team, so everybody takes responsibility no matter who comes there. I think that's great, and that's why he's one of the best ever. I just feel like what Saban's doing with these 19-year-old kids who haven't experienced life, who may be feeling themselves, for him to get them to focus every single year. When's the last time Alabama's lost to an unranked team? When's the last time Alabama's lost to a team they shouldn't have? When they lose to a big-time game out of nowhere. That's my thing. That's what I'm impressed with. And you can't tell me, look, you only have so many scholarships in college football. There's people all across this country, high school kids all across this country, and yet Saban over Ohio State, over USC, over whoever comes, every single year turns them out. He loses assistants every year now. That's a bad point because Belichick does too. I'm just saying I'm impressed.
No, that's not true. He's had Matt Patricia, and he's had Josh, the offensive coordinator.
Gotcha.
He's had them for a while. He lost Josh McDaniels for a while to Denver, but he's back. He'll lose them again. Matt Patricia's going to Detroit, but I think Saban loses assistants more often.
Yeah, and then he has a coach against them. If you look at Georgia was a spit image. I think it's easier to. I almost made an argument against myself.
Go ahead, say it. We're just keeping it real. We're not arguing each other.
I'm thinking this right here. I guess there's more of an opportunity in college football to do what Saban's doing. So you look at, what's his name at Georgia right now?
Kirby Smart.
Immediately he turns them over, and they're defensive-minded, and they're going to be a problem for years and years. My point is, Saban has contended with that for years and years, and he keeps winning. It's easier to do what Saban's doing in college, but it's harder to keep your team focused and keep competing. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying. I just think it's harder in the NFL because nobody else has even come close to sustaining what Bill Belichick is doing in modern day NFL. In the NFL is designed to take teams who are successful and make them less successful.
But is this kind of
with the salary cap?
But think about
with draft order.
But they
go out of their way to make it so that you aren't as successful. College football has no such parameter. There is nothing in college football to limit your success. They did it with scholarships back in the 80s. But besides that, there's nothing to limit how great you can be.
I want you to take a great coach and a great quarterback, and you tell me how far they've went in the NFL. When you get that basis, I feel like...
Wait. So you've got Drew Brees and Sean Payton.
How many have they won?
One.
Yeah, well, they were on suspension for a long time. Ben Roethlisberger.
You look at Bill Parcells, Jeremy, a Hall of Fame coach. Great rebuild. Bill Parcells has 2 titles. 2.
What Hall of Fame quarterbacks has Bill Parcells had, though? Let's be for real. Phil Simms?
Jeff Hostetler should be in the Hall of Fame, okay?
No, all right, real talk. I'm wrong.
Jeff Hostetler should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm wrong. Jeff Hostetler. The Hoss.
But what
I'm saying is
the thing I was going to say to you is you're sitting here...
Real quick.
You're sitting here trying to say that Bill Belichick's resume should be maligned in some way because he couldn't get the Browns to win. Jeremy.
No. I'm saying throw that out. I'm saying Saban didn't win with the Dolphins, and Belichick didn't win with the Browns. Throw them both out. What I'm also saying is Joe Montana, when he was with that Hall of Fame head coach, look what they did. Maybe they didn't win 6, but they won a lot. Because when you have 4. A great quarterback,
they won 4.
Because when you have a great quarterback and a great coach, I'm sorry.
So what's the I think it's Belichick, and you think it's Saban.
I might be a little homer, but yes, I think it's Saban.
I'm okay with that. And I think you can make an argument for either. And I think a reasonable person can come to either conclusion.
No, and you're right. I know you're wrapping up. I'll just say this, and I've said this before. The reason why I feel strongly about Saban, not strongly about Saban, but respect Saban so much, is because you look at all these other teams who get talent, and somehow they hiccup, they lose focus. Saban's teams are always so locked on. They may lose, but it's always to a top 15 team. They don't go and hiccup against anybody.
Or a rivalry game with Auburn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so we played them a few years ago with Kevin White. We were good. We played well. Good coaching, good play calls. We weren't beating Alabama. We weren't. Because they never overlook anybody. And I feel like it's a special thing to get these 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old kids to lock in and to realize what life is all about at that age.
Yeah.
Compared to professionals. We're talking about professionals, and we're talking about what they call amateurs.
What they call amateurs. They're amateur in one way only. They don't get paid.
So.
Listen, we thank you for joining the Raspy Voice Kids once again. Shout to Sandwich U, king of the fat sandwich. Shout to Shrinkables. Shout to Jen, Wilt, and all the other people who love and support the Raspy Voice Kids. And remember, no matter what we said, no matter what we did, please do not forget, no matter what, we also hate Pitt. It's Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt from the Raspy Voice Kids. And if you can't tell, I am so excited to tell you about our newest sponsor, Sandwich University, Sandwich U. Why? Because it is the bomb. That place is so lit. And if you don't believe me, ask Good Morning America, who rated it one of the top college restaurants. It's also one of the top 25 places to try before you die. They're open till 4 a.m., so they're there if you have cravings late. And if you're in Morgantown, if we're being honest, there's going to be nights where you're having cravings late. We all know. If you're there, if you live there, you got to get there. You got to have the sandwich because they are the king of the fat sandwich. Hashtag fat sandwich. Hashtag king of the fat sandwich. If you don't live there, it's a great place to go before and after the game. You're going to see their name. They're up on the Jumbotron. I cannot tell you how excited we are, and I cannot tell you how excited you're going to be when you have what they have to offer. You can see here some of their menu items, some of their menu options. They deliver too. Check them out. Sandwich U, now franchising.